Why I feel guilty about being a white mother.
Ugh, I hate white mothers. These women have a virus in their minds.
Well, yeah, that's true. Would you like... that would be a fun mother for your mom to have, though. Or, sorry, a fun mother for one of your buddies to have. Like, I'm sure that...
it's feminist mom.
It's feminist mom, right? But it would be so fun to, like... If you were kind of like kids, because it's sort of like, you know how like I said, this stuff's been going on for 7 or 8 years now, right?
Yeah.
Do you know, like 50-year-olds like that had to learn about computers and will never really get as good at it?
Yeah.
You know, people our age were fully formed when like all this, you know, like white guys are bad stuff really like took off. So it's like a lot of people had trouble interfacing. If you're growing up from like birth with like the white people are bad stuff, it's going to be like more of an eye roll, like, because
for sure,
teenagers are smarter and funnier than people like to give them credit for, right?
Absolutely. People
always say like, oh, they're just teenagers. Teenagers are smart and funny, like a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are just people who are so far removed from being a teenager that they just don't remember.
And you've been growing up, like if you're 16 right now, this stuff's been happening since you were 8, right? So it's all you've known is this, like, you know. Oh, you go to school and like, yeah, the teachers tell you that men are bad and like, you know, white people. Like you're just like, that's been my whole life, right? My mom, and it's like, so this whole stuff, that's been most of your life, you know?
Yeah. And you kind of, you know, you start, it's similar like if you go to like a religious school, I remember like I did, and then I was 8 or 9 and when most of us were like, yeah, this is pretty bullshit. Huh?
Exactly. So for that, going to your friend's mom's house and she's like, you know, just remember, boys, to check your privilege. Like, just being like, the amount, it'd be fun to make fun of her about that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you'd roast that kid.
And you'd roast the kid, but then you'd also, like, there'd be fun things to do to the mom, being like, yeah, each of us have, like, 3 girlfriends. Is that a problem? Oh, women? Yeah, we actually don't let women allowed.
Yeah.
Just being misogynist in front of that guy would be so funny. I have 3 sons, 2 years behind each. They are various shades of blonde, various shades of pinkish white, and will probably end up dressing in polo shirts and button-downs most of the time.
Do you buy their clothes? Or do they have their own jobs?
She just knows they're going to be these fucking piece of shit.
Abercrombie.
Wall Street. I know that my son's going to end up working on fucking Wall Street.
I assure you, if you think this way, that is certainly going to lead them in that direction.
Well, what's worse? Like, what do you want them to be, like, bloggers?
Yeah.
Like
allies.
That is so
Can you be a professional ally?
You have a mom that like really wants it's the old job where it's like, you know what I mean? You're like, hey mom, I've decided I want to be like a Brooklyn slam poet. And she's like, oh no. Like, and now you're just like, mom, I've decided I want to be a lawyer. And she's like, a white lawyer? Oh. No.
Because you better work for free for people of color. That's something.
And be poor.
And be poor, yeah.
I want, so she's mad that her son's going to have it's just going to be white. No, it is. Know what it is? It's the sketch we did that's better. It's you looking in the mirror in the blogger sketch where you go, you piece of shit. Or no, you're looking at me, you go, piece of. That's what her mom's looking at the son's just like, you piece of shit.
Just like so crazy to teach your kids from such a young age that they're just inherent. I mean, it's religion, I guess. It's like original sin, right?
Yeah.
Like you're inherently bad.
And so
you can work at being better, but there's salvation.
This is the kid that will be the biggest Andrew Tate fan.
Of course.
Or a broken man.
Yeah.
Ideally
a broken man from the mother's perspective.
And maybe as he gets older, he just like wipes all this nonsense out of his head and becomes normal. You know what I mean?
But so how many people do you know who grew up in like a religious household and they go, yeah, it's just what it was, but I don't do it.
Of course. No one wants... I'm dating someone that has that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a role model that's telling you to hate your fucking self.
No. Basically,
I'm raising the physical embodiment of the man times 3. Your son's the man.
The man.
No, that's your son. Being like, mom, can you turn the music down? Oh, I'm sorry, the man. Your mom thinks you're the man.
Mom's basically like a Black Panther. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yo,
is my rap music too loud for you?
For the man. Oh, I apologize if the man.
Oh, I'm sorry. You all freaked out by the color of my skin? You're like, Mom.
You're white.
Enough, please.
She's on the phone with her fucking mom. It's like, or she's with her friends. Like, yeah, I'd love to come to that class today, feminist yoga class today. But the man needs to drive to soccer practice. Look at me. You're paying the kids allowance. Look at me giving more money to the man.
I will say though,
the man just drowning my savings.
Speaking to the, you can get out of this. Like, I think there's always been just crazy moms who have crazy shit.
Crazy moms are my favorite articles, by the way.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time. It's the thing that they're crazy about.
They're all good, and they all have their own specific flair. Oh, I'm sorry if the man needs to borrow my car.
Yeah. But not everybody, but you can get out of it.
Oh, the man. Look at the man studying for class to be a lawyer.
Oh, doing that white man's math, huh? Oh, I bet you're on time for everything too, huh? Like a white piece of shit you are.
Yeah, calling her son white.
Do you think if there's ever, like, how they have the CRISPR stuff?
Two white men playing catch. Look at you. Look at you.
Pick up a basketball. They have that CRISPR, the DNA editing. You think there'll be like a feature where you can add melanin?
Oh,
or you go, hey, like we could just.
Do you remember that movie Black Like Me?
A book, yeah.
That's one of those things that I was always like, I knew about it at a really young age, and you know how there was that like thing in, what's it called, where you like imagined a movie happen, the Shaquille O'Neal thing, Shazam.
Yeah.
Where you like imagined something happened and it didn't.
Okay.
I always, in my mind, I'm like, was that real, or was that like a movie I watched, or was that a book?
It was a book that was,
but it was a true story?
I believe so. Yeah, it was like in the Ontario curriculum. I believe I had to read that.
But was it real? Did a guy actually do that?
Like he painted his...
No, he apparently dyed his skin black.
Oh, he dyed it black? I don't remember. I thought he painted it.
But was it real or a fiction?
I don't know about. We could look it up. I don't know.
Sammy Sosa dyed his skin white.
Yeah, well, that's a common thing where guys bleach their skin.
Okay, look up. Did Black Like Me... Did the guy dye his skin?
Black Like Me, first published in 1961, non-fiction book by journalist.
So it's real?
Yeah, John, recounting his journey in the deep south of the United States at a time when African Americans lived under racial segregation. He was a native of, he had his skin temporarily darkened to pass as a black man.
Well, how do you do
that? That's a big no-no, pal. Are you kidding me? He's coming full blackface for a book?
Yeah, you're right.
He traveled for 6 weeks throughout the racially segregated states of Louisiana to explore
But
life.
look at the way he looks here. It's like he looks like a guy with paint on his skin.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he looks like Tan Dad.
He looks like Trudeau.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a black guy.
No.
So he's like, everyone thought I was weird. It's like, well, they were looking at a guy with paint on his face.
Yeah, and honestly, he probably thought you know what, I got the true experience of being a black guy. Everybody's like, yeah, we all know you're a white guy with paint on your face, man.
Well, anyway,
nobody thought. Have you ever seen
trying to do that?
One of the funniest is the opposite of this was it was an old SNL sketch when Eddie Murphy was on SNL, and then he's like wanted to live a day as a white man, and so he like paints his face white, like he's all white and he's in a suit, and he does the white guy voice, like, oh hello, like this thing. And he gets on the bus. He goes to get on the bus, and like,
does anyone actually talk like the white guy voice? Like,
no.
Is there any white people? It's so funny because when you do a black guy voice, you just talk like a rapper.
Yeah,
and like a lot of people talk like that when they
like
do a
New York.
But like, who is the white guy voice supposed to be? Like, who talks like that?
Like it's like I don't know,
like a 1950s white. It's like a 1950s white guy.
Yeah,
only
kind of Ben Shapiro.
I think a lot of black guys have updated their comedy. When they do the white guy voice, they do a surfer.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
What's up, bro? Like Chappelle's new voice is like a bro.
Yeah, and they were also all copying Richard Pryor, who started that. So like it was
maybe that in the '60s, that white guy, there was white guys that talked like that.
Maybe. But anyways, the sketch was he's like all white guy, and then he gets on a bus or whatever, then he goes to pay the thing. The guy's like, don't worry about it, right? Like, because he's a white guy, that's how white. And then they're on the bus, and there's like black guy, and then the black guy gets off the one black guy gets off the bus, and this crazy party starts. It's so funny. But yeah, this guy does not look like.
Oh, I'm sorry. If the man wants to go swimming today,
anyway, that this guy gets posthumously canceled.
I think he's dead, but yeah, he should.
Well, they canceled Albert Einstein.
Well, is it in the curriculum still?
I don't know.
My boys will carry a burden of privilege with them always. They will be golden boys. Maybe, or maybe your son's a fucking dweeb. Like this idea, it's almost like, do you forget that like high school, like you think high school everyone's a golden boy?
No. By the way,
what high school are your sons going to where just by virtue of being white they get to be golden boys? Like imagine can you imagine how bad it is though? And then where it's like
golden boys.
No, but you go to school and you're like getting bullied and beat up and like, you know what I mean? Like you're like a loser, like no girls like you. And then you come home and it's like, oh, the golden boy. Like and you're just like, I have zero friends.
Yeah, I cry at lunch in the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, the golden boy has arrived. Must be nice.
Oh, Mr. Privilege. Home for dinner. Must be nice.
Must be nice. Just getting everything for free. It's all coming to you. Just your pick of the litter. Everyone's just celebrating you nonstop.
For just being for just the color of your skin, nothing else.
And she's like, yeah, he's like, the guy.
Where did you get that black eye from?
Yeah. Like, are you now you're doing blackface. Like,
seriously though, imagine this Black Like Me thing. It was like, how funny would it be if someone tries to like update it and do it now?
Oh.
And then just how bad it backfires. Like
not good.
This was like walking around. I'm gonna go walk around Harlem. Well, that was when like black people were like not really okay to stand up for yourself.
Do you remember what he said in it?
No, I don't remember. It was just like it was like he's like there's racism. As far as I understand, it's like there's racism that exists, and I'm gonna go experience it. And then he experiences it to confirm that it like
and
he
what
was
did
treated.
He say? Turns out it wasn't good.
Yeah, not good. He's like I was treated much worse. That's what I understand, but. To try and do that now, just like some like liberal like Brooklyn hipster who goes, I'm gonna try that. And goes up to Harlem in full blackface.
Yeah, or the opposite, like you do it in liberal Brooklyn, and you're like, I'm gonna put padding underneath because most likely I'm gonna get killed. Right? You're wearing a bulletproof vest on. Like you're just like I'm gonna do the experiment.
Yeah, like the bomb squad thing.
Yeah, because you're like it's so hard, and then it's just like white liberals that look like you being like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a lot of people apologizing to me. I love everything you do, dude. I'm so sorry about George Floyd. It's all like Brooklyn liberals like apologizing.
Oh man.
I mean, what you could do is go on the internet and see how you can make a black avatar and then see what your life's different.
Yeah.
Like you could actually run that experiment pretty easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make some SoundCloud raps.
Get away with it. Yeah, you do. I'll make the exact same like account basically with a black guy and a white guy and see what the engagement looks like and then see
that's an interesting experiment.
You know what I mean? And the internet's big enough and you're going to be dealing with small numbers that people won't notice, right? Because you'll probably be dealing with like, starting from zero on both. So it's like you're only going to get up to like, accounts that have like 300-400 people, right? And you go, which one like gets more hate? Which one gets more love? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's an interesting experiment. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna dress up in blackface.
Yeah.
And see how it goes.
He goes, I'm raising the man. These kids will be golden boys, inoculated by a lack of melanin, and it's all social trapping against problems faced by black America. Oh, the man hasn't done. Man, being these kids would be fucking so funny. For a mother, white privilege means your heart doesn't hit your throat when your kids walk out the door. It means you don't worry that the cops will shoot your sons. It carries another burden instead. White privilege means if you don't school your sons about it, if you don't insist on its reality and call out oppression, your sons may become something terrifying. Your sons may become the shooters.
Yeah, I hope she's not checking into crime statistics.
Well, that's why I was, but right, exactly. But the funny part too was like, I guess she maybe means school shooters, but it's like, she's basically like saying stereotypes with stereotypes, you know what I mean? She was like, oh, my sons are going to become school. Look at this little fucking school shooter. It's like, Mom.
I'm sure that person's out there calling their kid, you're going to be a school shooter with your whiteness and your video games and your podcasts about fitness, and it's like, Mom, I want to go to the gym.
You're the reason that black kids have to worry walking home at night. And she was like, I promise it's not me.
Because it's really not like that.
That'd be the best if that kid lived in like an all black neighborhood too, because it's like obviously like being the super minority, it's probably not the greatest. Like,
no,
you know what I mean? So you're like a white guy who live in an all black neighborhood, like unless you're like, you kind of are cool and fit in, but if you're just like a nerdy white guy and it's just like black guys like kicking your ass.
I mean, even Tate said that on this thing last night. He goes, I was like the only American guy in when he moved to England, and he's like, I just got bullied nonstop.
Yeah, Howard Stern said that too. He was like the only white guy in like.
Obviously, if you're the only thing of anything, you're like a mark.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I
get
bet you
bullied.
though, if you're like the only black guy at like liberal white school, like
Now.
you're like the man.
Yeah, that's a recent occurrence, though.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to go to that school 60 years ago.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm not talking 60 years ago.
Or
I'm
whatever,
talking maybe
yeah.
like even when we grew up.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up, I'm sure that
I had one. My high school.
I
had
grew up and like
legit
every
one-
person wanted to be black.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. That's when hip hop was really, really catching like.
Like every white kid wanted to be black.
Yeah, we had one black kid. Not one black
So
kid.
if you were
but-
like your average white kid that wanted to be black, school, like let's say you were just like an area and you had one black kid, it was like everyone would be like trying to start a rap group with that guy.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, you're right. But like, I'm sure there's different versions of it. Obviously, like you could, be the guy with the accent that was bullied, or you could be the guy with the accent that showed up and was the man. Like, obviously, there's no rule. Like,
There's
it's
no rules,
just
right.
with averages. But my point would be like, imagine getting like beat up by all the black kids, and then your mom coming home and your mom telling you how much privilege you have over them. You'd just be like,
You're like, it's not.
you're like, I am
fun.
about to become a school shooter, and you're going to be the target.